Let's get busy.
My man Gary's back.
How you doing, Kevin?
Good. How are you?
I'm well, thank you.
You're looking good.
Well, I'm trying. Fat and sassy, I think is what they say, right?
Sassy, maybe. It's been what was the last time you were here? Was it?
It was probably about a year ago, I think.
Has it been that long?
I think so.
Yeah. Okay.
I think so.
It's been too long, brother.
I know.
You don't call. You don't write.
You know, that's what they all tell me.
I'm one of many. And then Felicia.
Yeah, Felicia.
How are you?
Corbett.
I'm doing well.
So we're going to talk courtesy of our lovely lady, Caroline Knopp. The 5th annual Taste of Independence. This is your thing.
It's my thing.
And we're going to talk about your thing.
Well, thank you.
And the benefit or the event as well.
I've waited for this for years. Thank you.
This thing is going to be showcased tonight.
It's taking a dark turn.
It is. That's kind of how we roll. I'm all about, the soundbite does grab, it's clicks and ratings and all this stuff. But it's good to have you back.
Thank you. Thank you.
And you're a part of what you do is also, give us some history on.
I will indeed.
Yeah.
Apron Inc., we're 8 years old. We're a not-for-profit. We provide emergency financial funds to employees in Louisville's independent restaurant community. A restaurant and bar community. So when someone finds themselves, someone had a break-in the other day, everything was taken out of their house. So we are able to go in and pay rent and car payments and things so they can take that money, the money that they're saving, and go buy more stuff.
Right.
If someone's in the hospital and has nothing to fall back on, we can help out and pay. Once again, we pay bills. We don't give them money, but we pay bills. So in the last 8 years, we've given out about $250,000.
What a cool concept, being over an organization that cares for people.
Well, it's nice. It's a nice feeling, I didn't realize how much need there was out there when a bunch of us just got together one day and started talking about need in the restaurant community. Right. Well, we thought, why shouldn't we try to do something? And I took it to my boss, who immediately said, well, yes, let's do something, and wrote me a check to incorporate. And after that, it's sort of history. It's just sort of snowballed. Right. We started really small, and now we're not quite as small.
not quite so.
We're getting bigger.
And then, keep going.
That's it.
No.
And this is one of our major fundraisers, this Taste of Independence. It's a great way to spend a Sunday afternoon. It's this Sunday at the Olmsted from 1 to 4.
Which means I have to get my shit together between now and this weekend to get this podcast out, but I will for Gary.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
How does Felicia get involved here?
Felicia is one of our big supporters. She's one of our spokespeople. We use her once in a while because she knows what we do, and she's one of our grantees. She found herself in a time of great need at one point, and we were able to help her out. And
actually, twice.
She can vouch for you.
Yeah.
So she knows what we do. Yeah. She's a living example of how we come through for people. So
yeah,
I was like, good for you guys. Then great that you had somebody or a group to reach out to. But
yeah, this is the second time that Apron has actually helped me out, and since their inception, I was one of their first recipients when I got randomly diagnosed with a weird form of cancer 6 years ago.
Well, Nancy, now I can't let you off the hook there. When you say weird, you got to elaborate.
Okay.
What was weird about it?
So the weird thing about it is it's a sub-skin cancer, and people call it DFSP. It happens to...
DFSP.
Okay, let's see if I can do it.
Try it.
Okay. Dermatofibrosarcoma protuberans.
Oh, my.
Yeah. Wow. It happens to 1 in 10 million people. So there's really not a cure, and nobody knows what exactly causes it. But 6 years ago, Apron helped me out with that. then we fast forward to September of last year, and I get diagnosed with stage 3 triple negative breast cancer. And Apron was Johnny on the spot again, so, and really, really helped out.
Wow.
Yeah.
How you doing now?
I am in remission.
Well, good fucking
Yeah.
for you. Wow.
That's the
Yeah.
best news.
Yeah.
I'm in remission. They're just doing, precautionary things. Like I had radiation, 6 weeks of radiation, and I'll be on a chemo pill for 6 months.
No, you said breast. This was
Yes,
breast.
this one was breast cancer.
This doesn't. I'm kind of peeking over, but no impact. You're good.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think they got it all. They just want to be on the safe side since it was such a large tumor and that chemo didn't completely shrink it. So that's why they're doing all these other precautions.
How you feeling now?
Pretty awesome. A lot better than
Well, you look
a
awesome.
few months ago.
Something there, I'm sure. And
Yeah.
a story like that.
And there's so many of them.
Yeah, there's so many, but one is,
It just gives you chills.
Yeah.
Well, at least it gives me chills. And to know that that Apron was able to help out, it makes all of the hard work that we do for all of our fundraisers absolutely worthwhile.
Yeah.
And it's so gratifying now for me because I'll be walking down the street and somebody random will come up to me and say thank you because they know that I'm with Apron and that Apron helped them out at some point. It's somebody I'd never met, but it's really, really nice. I was at dinner the other night and this young lady came up and thanked me, and we had recently given her a grant because her dog had bit her finger off.
Oh no.
That's
All right, stop again. You
that's-
can't just throw something like that.
That's happened. We've given 3 grants out to people who have lost fingers to dogs.
Whoa, come on, Carrie.
It's true. Well, we do our due
Do
diligence.
we have the nubs to prove it? I'm not calling anybody out, but
I've seen the pictures.
you've seen the pictures.
No.
I've seen the stumps.
3?
3 people.
3.
It's really frightening, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like
What are these people
Well,
doing
I'm
to these
curious.
dogs?
I'm glad I don't have
Chris.
animals.
Is it the same dog? It'd be cool if the same dog keeps going, keeps biting people's fingers.
I never thought to ask, but perhaps I should.
Same Cujo. Cujo, back off.
Oh, wow.
You're in the food industry?
Yes,
So,
I bartend at Luvino here in the Highlands, and then I also work for Angel's Envy.
what's that?
It's a bourbon.
Is it?
Yeah.
Where's that at?
It's a good bourbon.
It's a
Where
really
you
good
at?
bourbon.
Where-
500 Maine.
Okay.
The company's been around since 2011. So,
Okay.
been around, 2010 was when we were supposed to be released, but 2011 is when we were actually released.
I've lived in Louisville all my life.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still trying to acquire the taste of bourbon.
Well, maybe you should give ours a try. It's a good for a seasoned drinker, and it's good for.
I'm so novice. I mean,
Yeah.
honestly, the last time I'm telling on myself here. The last time I was, and I realized you're not supposed to shoot bourbon.
No,
you're
you're
supposed
not.
to drink.
Well, you
It's
enjoy
not even
however you
drinking.
want.
So somebody got shots of bourbon, and I'm at that point I'm buzzing a little bit, and I'm like, okay, let's do it. So I tried to shoot it. It got to here, and then actually it was here. It came all out. I spit it all. It burned so hard right away, and it was like, So there's an ongoing joke here that Kevin can't handle his bourbon.
Well, we got to teach you how to do a proper bourbon tasting so that you
Yes,
enjoy
And I had
it.
a friend of mine who is a bourbon guy. He came over to my place one night and brought me 4 samples, different types of bourbon, and quizzed me. I mean, had me try it, taste it right way, let it, I want to acquire it. I'm still a Bud Light, Mick Ultra guy. And then, like right now,
You
I'm
just want
drinking
to be
gin
able to
and
say
tonic.
you're a novice at something, don't you?
something.
That's where it is.
What else has been going on with you, though?
Working very hard. I assistant manager restaurant in St. Matthews, so busy.
Can you say who?
Yeah, Equus. Equus Jack's Lounge.
That's right. You did tell me. I was just there the other night.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there was a friend of mine had a late birthday party.
Oh, that 10 o'clock birthday party?
Jesse Dan. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So were you there that night, or you probably?
I was there at the front door that night. Yeah.
Okay, I got there at 10ish. Jared was still there.
It was a fun party.
That's another guy, Jared. Let's give props to him. He is not only hijacking St. Matthews when it comes to.
He truly is.
In a good way, because he's a good person. I mean,
really
he
is.
knows what he's doing. But Equus, Lulu, my daughter Claire works at Lulu, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she's been there for a while, and she's a very loyal supporter of Jared Matthews, and I think she's going to start doing some nights at the new one. The street grub and hops. Yeah, street grub. Yeah, I went out there the other night, and I like the atmosphere there.
It was fun, wasn't it?
It is fun.
I just ate there.
That's a good way. It was just fun.
I got to tell you about Jared. For years, as everybody knows, Dean Corbett owned Equus. He owned it for 34 years, and he sold it a year ago, last May, to Jared. Dean had been looking for someone to buy it. He had one person who said...
He's looking for the right person.
He was looking for the right person. He nearly sold it to someone else who was going to close it and gut it. And he just happened to mention to Jared that he was looking, to sell it. And Jared said, well, you can't... it has to stay the way it is.
Right.
Or, it's an icon of the St. Matthews community. And Jared bought it.
Yeah, and it's basically kept it.
And has kept it going on. He has kept the wonderful thing that he has done is bring in new people, because our clientele was honestly aging.
Yeah,
we got a lot of their kids and a lot of their kids, but as we have a brand new clientele along with our established clientele, and it's going stronger than ever now, and Dean could not have given it to a better person, because Jared gives back to the community.
He does.
He's interested in everybody who walks in. If you have an issue, you can go directly to him. He's a great restaurateur.
He doesn't know this yet, but one of the things with my Shooting from the Lip podcast that I've been doing, that I've done once, and actually, ironically, the first time I did it, I'm starting to do roasts. The first roast I did was in September of 2017, and it was the singer who's singing now. We did it here, and it went over great. It was just hilarious, a little brutal, but a roast is supposed to be a roast. I mean, It's the format Comedy Central. If you follow Comedy Central, Celebrity, that's how it is. And I'm getting ready to do one the end of this month at the Levee for a filmmaker, Antonio Pantoja, which is going to be good. One of my next people that I want to set my sights on to do a roast is Jared.
Jared? I must come to that one.
I will get my daughter, everybody that works for him are going to just throw it at him. I think he would be fun.
He would.
And then, we'll humble him a little bit, because he hasn't been just taking over he's putting the Matthews, his name, in St. Matthews.
He is, but I'll tell you, he has a great sense of humor, and he doesn't take himself seriously.
I love him. Genuinely love him. He gets it. He really gets it. And I saw read the interview he did with one of the local media. And, he said it right. It's a matter of just having good people, being good to them, and that it is kind of that simple. I mean, it kind of is.
It is.
You obviously you have to have the experience and the knowledge of it, but if you line yourself up with good people, generally good things happen.
Right.
So I can attest to that. 100%.
100%. People can't see this, but yeah, she's wearing a sleeve, which I thought was ink, and I was getting ready to get the story on the ink, and she's like, it's a sleeve.
I know, it's sad. Well, I figured if I have to wear a compression sleeve
but
every day.
You do have ink on the other arm, right?
I do. This is my...
So what is it?
It's a unicorn.
Is it?
Yes. Because the first cancer that I spoke about previously, since it happens to so few people, they called us unicorns. And actually in the ribbon is a unicorn. So I am a real life unicorn.
Or alien, depending on who.
Either way.
Yeah. The UFO thing is really getting hot, so you could be a little.
I could be a little.
Carrie, do you have any tattoos?
No,
Zero.
Zero?
no, I'm
So the ink
untouched.
that's the only ink that you have is if a pen strikes your hand during
Exactly.
the day. Or something. All right.
Exactly. For years and years, I lived in New York for 30 years, and I kept
For
thinking,
real? I didn't know.
yeah,
Okay.
I kept thinking I was going to get piercings because all my friends had piercings, but somehow I never did that.
30
either.
years in New York.
I'm just a wuss.
30 years in New York, and then was Louisville after New York?
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
a kind of a different animal, right?
Well, yes, but I was ready for it. I had lived
Well,
here.
what part of New York? Were we talking
I-
New York City or?
I lived in New York. I lived in Manhattan.
Oh,
yeah,
oh,
New York City,
shit.
Upper West Side.
Yeah. Where there's no such thing as grass unless you go to Central Park, right?
Well, yeah, I had Riverside Park, which was very close to where I lived.
Okay.
So, but yeah, you have to walk a little bit to get to some grass. We had trees.
Yeah.
I had trees right outside my bedroom.
Yeah.
But I loved it. It was a great place to be young, I'll tell you.
It's a great place to visit.
So much fun.
I've lived in Louisville all my life.
You could get in so much trouble there.
You can.
And in Chicago, too.
Chicago, all
can
these
attest
big
to that
cities
one.
you go to. I love to visit. L.A., I've been there. Chicago, been in New York, and after a few days, I'm ready to come home.
People put out so much energy when they visit big cities because there's so much to do.
There is.
When you live there after
There's
a
so
while,
much to do and so many people.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Everything is so much faster too.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But when you live there, you actually get to the point where, like when I go back to New York, the minute I get into the city, when the taxi gets me into Manhattan, it's like I'm home, and it's
So
this
you
big
actually
exhale.
from New York? Did you actually live?
No,
Okay,
I grew up moving up every year to 6 months. My father opened up restaurants and hotels.
Oh, not because witness protection or anything like that. Okay. You were running from the law?
No,
you can
not
say
at
it
all.
on there.
Not at all. No, my dad was not running
America's
from the
most
law.
wanted here. We can't seem to catch up with the guy.
No, I'm not in witness protection. No, but we moved a lot. We actually ended up here in Louisville. My parents did. I think I was 16 or 17. So I finished high school and did actors theater here, and then went to university here, and then went to New York.
Went to New York.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I knew Louisville a little bit, and when it was time to leave New York, I thought, well, I'll go to Louisville, and if I don't like it, I'll go somewhere else. I'll go to San Francisco or Chicago.
Yeah.
But I love Louisville.
This is a likable town.
It's a great town. You can get. I'm sorry, I don't mean to hit that.
No.
You can get around so easily.
can.
Nothing's more than 15 minutes away. At least nothing I want to go to is
Right.
15 minutes
You
away.
really have. There's something for everybody here.
Exactly.
And the food and drink
Alone.
here
Yeah.
alone, we don't have to take a backseat to anybody.
I thought I was going into a food wasteland when I moved here. I thought that's the one thing I'm really going to hate, and it's shocked me.
Yeah.
And now we're on the nationwide map of culinary places. A quarter of the people who come here to Louisville as tourists come just for the food.
Right.
Which is an
And of
amazing
course-
statistic.
We're the bourbon, the capital of the
that.
world, that kind of thing.
There's that.
That I still haven't been able to really master, but hopefully.
Well, you should come into the distillery and have them take you on a tour and then give you a proper tasting. It comes with chocolate. What do you have to lose?
Speaking of the Ballantyne, you remember the
Oh,
Ballantyne?
oh, yeah,
I did.
of course.
You familiar with the Ballantyne?
Yeah, I've had that before.
I did. I have to admit, I did kind of get into that.
Yeah,
Well,
good.
yeah.
It flavored kind of. I'm all about a good buzz.
You have to do like my friend does. He hadn't drank bourbon for years and years and didn't much care for it, and he started drinking sweet old fashions, and now you can't get bourbon away from
Yeah.
him.
Or oddly enough, bourbon and sweet tea is one of my favorite concoctions.
Really?
Bourbon and
so
sweet,
good.
really?
Bourbon and sweet tea, it just tastes like sweet tea, which is troublesome and amazing.
Wow.
Safety of your
But
own home.
what's the ratio? How would you do that? Because I'm a sweet tea fan. So if you could
Oh, then
tell
you would
me,
totally
if
love
you tell me
this.
I could put bourbon and sweet tea and it still tastes like sweet
Oh, it's
tea,
amazing.
and then within an hour I have the effects of bourbon.
Yeah.
Game on.
I would say do 1.5 ounces of bourbon to 2 to 3 ounces of sweet tea.
Yeah.
And it'll like in a size glass, like a pint glass, and it's delicious. And like I said, troublesome.
Yeah, anytime you do a drink where the flavor, the taste does not taste, you don't taste the alcohol, but you know the effect.
You do if you're like a bourbon drinker. You can like pick out
You
the
can
subtle
pick out?
notes
Okay.
of the
Alright.
different like types of bourbon. Like I usually drink it not just because I work there. I usually drink it with Angel's Envy, but I've tried it with Old Forester, with Maker's Mark, and I can tell which bourbon is in it based on the tasting notes of each bourbon. But I mean,
It's okay to plug your place.
it's really good. Okay. Well, they like Apron has done for me. Angel's Envy has. I can quite possibly say it's the greatest job I've ever had. They have taken a ridiculous amount of care for me. They did an event we're called Whiskey Guardians, which is the coolest job title. But there's
Cool.
about 60 of
Sounds
us.
very angelic.
I know, right? There's about 60 of us across the United States, and on one particular night, they all held a fundraiser for me,
Oh,
and all of
wow.
that money went to me. So
That's wonderful.
it's like from LA to New York to
Really?
San Francisco, Portland, like every one of them did an event on the same night to help me out. So
Oh, at different locations. You mean all these
all
locations?
over the country.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What
This
a
is-
great.
yeah, this
what
is
a
an-
great
God.
job.
Yeah, it's an awesome family company, and even though everyone says that we're owned by Bacardi, we are
Really?
owned by Bacardi, but they're a family company as well, and
know that.
it trickles down to us too.
Where's like Bacardi's corporate location?
Miami.
Miami. Okay. Bacardi.
Yeah.
All right, Gary. Let's get back to this Sunday.
Yes, sir.
Give us a detail. What's going on with you this Sunday?
It's a wonderful tasting. I think we have 30 restaurants participating this year. Small places. We have all of Jared's places. Thank you, Jared. So we'll have Equus and Jack's and Diamond Grub,
Gin and
Street
tonic?
Grub.
Do you want one?
No, I'm good.
Do you want? Get her.
Uh-oh.
Get her some.
We'll have an Angel's Envy on the rocks.
And then we have.
She said that with a smile.
Well, they've been good to her.
Really good to me.
So lots of wonderful restaurants.
Well, let's give a shout out because these are the restaurants. This is the list, and that's.
There's probably more.
All right, well, check out the list.
But we have Veronese, we have ceviche, we have volare.
You have the who's who.
Fat lamb,
Yeah.
La Chasse, where I was just at, a wonderful restaurant. Diamond Street Food and Grub and Hops. Brasserie Provence, Butchertown Grocery. So lots and lots of restaurants, really great places. And there's a lot of liquor there. Maker's Mark always has a presence because Maker's Mark is amazingly good to us through the year.
But in fairness, these restaurants, the people that are working with you, they're part of the family, if you will, that you take care of.
Right.
Yeah.
We only ask independent restaurants to participate, and you don't have to be a grantee. You don't have to join anything. It's not a membership. It's just if you need help, you make an application to us, and hopefully we'll. There you go.
Yeah, true.
Well, you make an application, and hopefully
Keep talking.
we okay it. So we've helped people from I think 92 restaurants so far in the last 8 years. We've helped
Well, that was my next one. How long has this been going on?
8 years.
8? Okay.
8 years, and we've helped over 200 people. Like I said, we've had $250,000 in grants. So. And one of my favorite thing about this afternoon, this Sunday afternoon in July, is that Robbie Bartlett sings all the
I
time.
just saw that.
Oh, yeah.
And I love
Her voice is
Robbie.
incredible.
I love Robbie.
Yeah.
So it makes the
Badass.
whole
Yeah.
afternoon just wonderful. So you can come in.
Yeah, Robbie and food and drink.
What more could you ask for a Sunday afternoon
It's a great way to start
for
the day.
$50?
For $50.
You go online to aproninc.org, pick up a ticket. If you want to come to the door, it's $60. It's great.
Give us a little, like, this is one of your major events each year.
It's our big fundraising event here in Louisville. Yeah.
Give me a little history. How's the last few years?
It tends to grow every single year, which we're very, very happy about. We make most of our money, actually, we make on the silent auction. We have some wonderful things this year. I went into the storage locker a couple days ago, and one of my board members had filled it to the brim. I had one painting to put into it for the silent auction. I could barely fit it in because it was just so full. Yeah. So there's going to be lots of great silent auction stuff there. So we make quite a bit of money on it. We have one other big event here in Louisville, and that's the Dine Around in January. Okay. And then Maker's Mark does a huge event during Bourbon Week for us in Loretto at its distillery that brings us in, bless their hearts, an immense amount of money.
How long have you been president doing this in your position here with it?
Well, I've been president since it's been started.
So for the 8 years?
For the 8 years.
So were you part of the whole concept, the whole...
I was part of the first meeting where we all got together and thought we should do something. I'm only president because one of the 3 meetings I missed, which was the second meeting we ever had, because I wasn't there, they elected me president.
Snooze, you lose.
Exactly.
Oh, mean.
A month or 2 later, I called one of the board members up and I said, "So when is our next meeting?" And he said, "Well, you have to tell us. You're the president."
You're the dictator. You
well,
dictate
nobody
that.
Told me.
Nobody told you.
So it's been a learning curve for me. The only other time I've done not-for-profit work was I had a theater company in New York, but that was much different.
Oh, I'm sure it was.
Much different fundraising.
What's do you have like goals for monetary goals, dollar goals for this?
Monetary goals?
Yeah. That you can share.
We would love to make upwards of $15,000 to $20,000 on this. We haven't quite hit that yet, but we would love to make that. We might this year. We have 2 incredible silent auction items. Dan Dry, who's a Pulitzer Prize-winning photographer, he's also the official photographer for Churchill Downs.
And he photographed Barack Obama, too.
He did.
Mm-hmm. Really?
Yes, but we have one of his
throw that on. Yeah.
Huge canvases of the young Muhammad Ali taping up his hands before one of the big fights.
That's so cool.
And then and he usually gives us a picture of the Derby winner that we can auction off. But this year's Derby was so
controversial.
So he gave us another big canvas of the beautiful spires of Churchill Downs. So I imagine those 2 will make quite a bit of money for us.
Very cool. Well, all right, so 20, that's a nice chunk of change there.
It is. It'll be enough for us to give quite a few grants out.
Yeah.
And
I'm curious, how many grants are you dealing with, or not dealing with, working with people during the year?
You just never know how
you probably don't. On average,
how the year is going to turn out. Yeah. On the average, we
not that I'm wishing
we give 2 or 3 grants out a month, perhaps.
Okay.
So that's maybe 24 to 36 a year. But then we'll have a year like last year where there was all that flooding. And 7 independent restaurants were affected. Mm-hmm. They were either flooded or their parking lots were flooded, so no one could get to them. Mm-hmm. So we set aside $25,000 and paid rent for 40 people last year.
That's amazing.
And it was a small flood this year. We gave out $10,000 this year. So those were big years for us. That was a large chunk out of who we are and what we do. Yeah. But we had it, and it was worth it, and that's where the money goes to.
I'm curious. How do people go about asking
applying?
Or applying?
You apply online. You go to apronink.org/application, fill out the application. We have guidelines.
Sure.
We don't support drunk driving. So if it's something that was within your
That's not a bad thing, Gary.
I know it's not. But so if it's something within your control that went wrong, we probably won't help. If something has involved a police action, like you've been beaten, or we'll check with the police to make sure that your story is correct. We do all of our due diligence.
What if the body cam is turned off?
Well, you know.
I'm being controversial. It's against, I don't know if it's against the law.
We haven't had to deal with body cams yet, thank heavens.
Right.
I don't really think I would want to watch any of that stuff. So, but but most
What
people
you
make
gonna
it through.
do when they come?
Oh, no.
So, but then most people are accepted, and they send me a copy of their bills, and I make out the checks to their creditors, and they send the bills, the checks out.
Have you had to say no?
I said no just today, actually. I say no to anybody who works in a corporate restaurant because
Yeah.
that's not what we do.
Corporate, right?
Yeah. It's not our mission. It's not a mission statement. So,
but that's you put that out there.
Oh,
I mean, it's out there, so they're
So I'm
not
I'm
doing
sorry
their
if
part.
you work at
but-
Cheddar's or Logan's or for Churchill Downs.
Yeah.
We can't help you. I'm sorry, but that's
Yeah.
not what we do. And we've had to say no to people who have had drunk driving problems. We've said no to people who they quit their job and thought we would help them, but they quit their job for no apparent reason. So, but we try not to say no. I mean, we're here to help, so we try to say yes.
Yeah, but
And we.
rules are rules. I mean,
But I'll tell you, this is sort of gruesome, but we've paid for everything from a cremation.
hold on, good
So
God.
much.
Wait, whoa.
There was a woman
Wait.
who worked in the independent restaurant.
Hold on,
community.
let's get. Now you're going to have to tell this story. You were approached to pay for someone's cremation.
$500 for a pauper's cremation. Yes, sir.
Well, I'm curious. Why were you approached to pay for their? Because they worked.
She was an independent restaurant
okay,
employee,
all right.
and her partner was an independent restaurant
Okay.
employee, and he had no money. He had taken so much time off to take care of her that they had nothing
Gotcha.
left to
right,
bury her.
all right.
So we took care of a cremation. So, but everything from that to fires to. I have one on my desk right now where the woman actually was burgled and everything was taken.
Yeah.
So we cover a gamut. Most people, it's broken bones or there's way too much cancer. Heaven
There's way
knows.
too much cancer.
Way too much cancer.
Hashtag cancer sucks.
Yeah.
Exactly. But we don't give a lot of money. But the amount of money we give, our biggest grant is $1,500. But that's enough to pay someone's rent for a month or two, perhaps, or
At
pay
least, yeah.
all of someone's bills for a month, which will at least help them along the way.
Yeah.
It might help them through not be evicted.
Exactly. Right.
You know.
Yeah. In a year, are you utilizing? I mean, are you going like using all of your money? Is it during the year or is it?
No, we have a nice, a fairly comfortable pillow of money to. So
Surplus.
and surplus. There's a good word. I don't like to use the word surplus because it sounds like we're hoarding it.
Yeah. No.
But
Reserve.
thank you.
Reserve, there
That's
you
the
go.
word I was
There
desperately
you
looking
go.
for. It would not come.
Surplus.
You
Yeah,
get,
all right,
you
you
get
know.
as old as I do. You can't remember the word "the" sometimes. I swear. But we do our Dine Around fundraiser, our Makers fundraiser, and this one, and those three give us usually enough working capital. Plus, there's probably another 40 small fundraisers that restaurants and organizations do for us throughout the year.
Oh, really?
Where
Okay.
that might give us $1,000
So, like
or
these one-offs that they're doing to add to your.
right.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
Oh my gosh, you
the
know what?
restaurants are actually stepping up to help.
Yeah.
Yes.
That you're not having to do. They're doing it.
Yeah, we love those that I don't
Well,
have
of
to work.
course. I was going to say.
I don't mind showing
But
up.
they're doing something because they know, one, the value of what you're doing.
Right.
So, I mean, that makes sense.
It means a great deal to
Yeah.
us that they do that.
Well, and clearly it means a lot to them that they're taking the time out to do that on their own.
Right. And the Kentucky Restaurant Association is very good to us. They do a couple
Okay.
events a year
Gotcha.
for us. So we're very lucky that we've been embraced.
Connections.
We've been embraced by the community, which is
Yeah.
nice. And our goal, our 5-year goal, is to expand into much more
So
of
you mean
Kentucky.
5 year between now and
Yeah.
ahead.
We'd like to get to encompass a larger area.
What is the area right now?
We have given it to places as far as Sellersburg and as far as Shelbyville.
Okay.
We're trying desperately to get either to figure out a way to embrace Lexington or to have maybe an offshoot of us in Lexington, because they're becoming quite a foodie town now too.
They are, but in fairness, and I mean this. What am I trying to say?
Have another drink.
I mean, no disrespect. No respect. I mean, no disrespect to Lexington, but that's Lexington.
Right.
I mean,
I think what will probably happen.
they kind of can, they can do their own thing.
I think what will probably happen is that they'll set up their own apron group.
Will that be?
And
Okay,
we'll
yeah.
we'll help them with best practices and things. But they'll set up their own group. So
And again, no disrespect. I think I said that right. But yeah, we take care of our own right now.
exactly. It's interesting though. Through the course of the years, a number of people have contacted me from other cities because there's a group in Atlanta that does something like this. We were first. We were first. They're much
we
bigger.
all remember our first right here.
Speaking of size, they're much bigger. But we were first.
I didn't bring that up.
Oh, you knew it was going there.
But we were.
And he's drinking water, right?
I am. But we were first.
Yeah.
But people from Nashville and Chicago and Denver I've had talks with them about them setting up places
Something
like this
like
for
that.
themselves. Absolutely.
Do they have similar things out around?
Denver is getting very close to starting one. Atlanta has something that is similar. They're the ones that are much bigger than us.
I can imagine.
But they also do corporate restaurants.
Yeah.
so-
Oh, okay. Well, shit. I mean, but that even adds to so much more because there's such a big
Yeah,
city.
they have their own building. They have a restaurant that they run where the proceeds go to the
Really?
organization.
That's amazing.
They give out their first fundraiser raised $350,000. Our first
curious,
fundraiser ran $7,000.
Do any of these restaurants, whether it's daily or periodically, say, a percentage of our sales is going to
That's what the dine around is in
It is.
January.
Okay.
We ask.
So but that's just a one time. That's
That's
not
the one
like.
time.
Well, I guess I'm curious. To me, not to call out these restaurants, kind of be a no-brainer that they would be a year-round thing to take care of their.
It would be nice, but I'll tell you, restaurants.
I mean, even if it's a small percentage.
I understand why they.
And maybe I don't
Re-
get the whole but go ahead.
Well, restaurants are asked to come through for community organizations on a
Sponsorship.
daily
They do.
basis.
That's a good point. Yeah.
On a daily basis,
Little
they're asked
league,
for
sports,
to
yeah.
give gift cards or to be part of tastings.
I'm getting
or
ready to hit people up for sponsoring this, but I digress. But anyway, go ahead. Yeah.
So I understand where they just get so inundated that they can't think about it, and the reason that we exist is because even though independent restaurants have put Louisville on the culinary map, they're very small businesses, and they don't have the wherewithal to offer benefits. They don't have the wherewithal to help their employees when they're ill. So I understand that they can't really help us, but maybe twice a year when we ask them to do the dine around and to do this tasting event. I don't blame any restaurants at all, because they do a lot of work for the community. A lot of work for the community.
Who do you blame, Gary?
Well, I blame you, Kevin. And here's the reason why.
Break it.
You asked for it.
I ask and I shall receive. So let me get back to you, Felicia. how long ago this relationship? What's Y'all both swipe right on an app, or how'd y'all connect?
We actually
I
met.
right for her. Anything.
I think we met through Dawn, actually.
I think
Dawn
we did.
Bianconcini.
Yeah.
She used to work.
Luca,
Yeah,
Luca.
Luca's wife. Yeah.
isn't today his birthday?
I was going to say happy 50th birthday.
Oh, we're going
Luca.
to shout. He is. Here's the joke on him. Not joke. Actually, it's a compliment. I call him the fucking James Bond of Louisville.
Yeah.
He is so debonair.
Yeah.
I could
he
see
is,
that.
You know,
Yeah.
he's just. He is.
Someone put on his Facebook
him
post today that he
Dawn.
looked like Sean Connery.
Good people.
Yeah.
So
They're great
that's-
people.
That's right. I forgot he's involved with you. Isn't he on the board?
He is. He and Dawn.
And Dawn, yeah.
I have been there since the very first
Yes,
day.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
I
Good
love them
people.
more than I can say.
Is
Yeah.
is it really? It's his 50th, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that's exactly how we.
Yeah, and Dawn told me
older
about
than
it.
You.
I'm sorry.
I'm talking to Luca. I'm older than him.
Oh, you're both children.
I got him by 2 years. So, yeah.
Yeah, Dawn and I used to work together at Veronice, and she told me that she was starting to help with this new organization that could help out with servers or anybody in the restaurant
Right,
industry,
right.
as long as it was an independent one. And then she introduced me to Gary, and then I filled out my first application, and that's how we met.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And she
That's
brings up
another
a
good,
good,
real quick. John, very nice.
John Veronice?
Another good guy.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, love John. Go ahead.
I like to call him John Michael when I'm mad at him.
Oh wow!
I learned that from his parents.
I might try that
I had
one
a great,
night.
I had a great
John
dinner at one of his restaurants last night.
Yeah.
Where'd you
Oh, River House.
go?
River House. And he was there, so we had a nice chat.
Oh, I was there Sunday night. I was at the Levy side Sunday night. But,
Yeah, but she actually brought up a good point when she said server. It's not only servers that we help.
Right.
We help back of house. We help janitors.
Right.
We help, and we've given to a number of owners who find themselves in great need.
Oh, the owners, too.
Yeah,
Okay.
there was an owner who had 2 bouts of cancer, not your cancer, but
Yeah.
similar, and we nearly lost her both times. And and she's going like crazy now. So we anybody in the independent restaurant community we help.
Yeah, which is amazing. Even I think you approved a couple of people from Luvino. I know Tavis helps out a lot with fundraisers, but I believe there were a couple of people at Luvino that help out too.
There were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they work at Luvino now. But
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, we've helped out people from over 90 restaurants.
that's
So-
amazing.
So,
And I've met
I mean,
people that
what-
you've helped out, and
what-
yeah.
places I've never been, like I've never been to Wagner's Pharmacy. I've heard about it for
Yeah.
years, but I've never been. But we helped a lady there, and so it really having come from New York, it really makes me feel part of the community.
Oh, yeah.
That I know that every restaurant I walk into, I'm a little part of. Which
Yeah,
is
you're
nice.
very ingrained into this community, and a lot of anytime somebody mentions Apron or I need help with this, I'm like, go to Apron, go to Apron, go to Apron. Like, yeah, like you're very ingrained in this community, and we're all very lucky that you're here to help us because it's hard to imagine like if there wasn't an organization here, like how I would have gotten through personally, let alone other people in this community. So
It was actually Luca's idea.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He's the one who had the idea originally. 'Cause he was a board member of MRF, which is the
I was
which
just
is
getting
the-
ready to bring it up. The
Yeah.
Musicians
Musician Emergency Relief Fund.
So he was a board member of that, and he wondered why there couldn't be something for the independent restaurant community.
See, looks
So-
and brains, Luca. You just proved it. Looks and
Man,
brains.
here's to Luca.
All right. In closing here, it's the 5th annual Taste of Independence, this Sunday, July 14th, 1 to 4. You could cram all this in 3 hours?
Go figure, huh?
How do you 3 hours.
It's a great 3 hours.
It's at the Olmsted, 3701 Frankfurt Avenue. It's open to the public. It's $50 in advance, $60 at the door. There's an award ceremony from 2:33. Talk to me. What's the award ceremony?
We give out an award every year. It's called because he was our founding mentor, we call it the Dean Corbett Service Award. It's for service to the independent restaurant community, people who have really come up for the independent restaurants. Past winners have included Caroline, actually, because she works so hard for the independent restaurant community. And I'm not going to remember any of the KRA, Maker's Mark. So, and then there's another award that we give out whenever we feel like it. It's called the Director's Award, and that's for people that give service to Apron itself. And it means a lot to us to give out those awards, because they really are for the people who really help us help you help the restaurant community. So,
Is there's an event page on Facebook? On
there
this
is
stuff, yeah.
aproninc.org/events, and you can see the restaurants that are going to be involved. You can click for the button to get tickets, and we look forward to seeing everybody. It's a wonderful afternoon.
Yeah, I mean everything about this. Again, this is a situation, or not situation. This is an event where you got a group of people who are just doing the right thing by taking care of, people who are really important, the unsung heroes of this town. Whether it's musicians and Murph, but with the Apron, the food industry. People, I mean, it's a big deal, kind of. Yeah. And the fact that you're doing it on the independent, not the corporate.
Right.
Corporate.
They tend to take care of
I
themselves.
was going to say, if they don't, they should. So, that's calling you corporate people out. But yeah, the independents definitely. So
There we go.
I got tickets. I think I know where I'm going to be.
Yep.
1:00 Sunday.
Cool.
I'm going to be there.
I look forward to it.
Hang out.
I'll see you
Be
there.
Yeah. Gary, Felicia, thanks for coming on, and
Thank you so much.
good
Thank you
luck.
for having us.
Let's do this. And obviously, anytime you need anything from me, holler
you.
at me and come out and hang out with me.
Great.
I
look forward to
call
it.
and write more often.
We'll connect.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thank
Take
you.
care, Kevin.